Hey everyone, today we're diving into the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, a well-known American self-help guru. Napoleon Hill is a big deal in the US. Presidents like Woodrow Wilson and Franklin D. Roosevelt were among his ardent followers. He's one of the pioneers in modern self-help, and his principles have inspired millions. Influential politicians and tycoons even consider his books their bedtime reading. That's why he's known as the millionaire maker. Can thinking alone really make me rich? Well, we're going to delve into that, examining it through the lenses of desire, mindset, action, perseverance, and creativity. First off, let's talk about desire. Some people might link desire with greed and think it's a negative trait, but in reality, desire fuels progress. A lack of desire can indicate an unhealthy mental state, where you're not interested in anything at all. Whether you aim for a promotion, dream of marrying the person you love, or aspire to buy a house, these are all desires. Achieving them means you've succeeded on your own terms. But why do some people, despite having desires, not achieve them? That's because desire alone isn't enough. It needs to be channeled into action. Napoleon Hill, in his book Think and Grow Rich, lays out 6 specific steps to transform the desire for wealth into actual money. The first step is to set a specific monetary goal, like $500,000 or $1 million, not just a vague, I want to be rich. The second step is to determine the level of effort you're willing to invest to attain that money. The third step is to set a concrete deadline, like within 3 or 5 years. Having a timeline fuels your motivation because indefinite effort doesn't inspire anyone. The fourth step is to create a clear plan and act on it immediately, ready or not. The fifth step involves jotting down a concise list containing the amount of money you aim for, your deadline, the effort required, and the plan to accumulate that wealth. Finally, the sixth step is to vocalize this list twice daily, once before bed and once upon waking. But believe it or not, they were coined by none other than the steel magnate, Andrew Carnegie. Carnegie started as a simple steelworker but turned his desires into a driving force that eventually netted him a fortune of over $100 million. He became a philanthropic giant in the US, all thanks to this framework. So if you want your desires to turn into cold, hard cash, the first step is to fuel them into a driving force. Once you're driven, having a success mindset is crucial to making money. With a winning attitude, would you easily give up? No way. Those 6 steps are all about building that mindset. Once you've got it, converting your desires into action becomes almost effortless. Why? Confidence is the brain's catalyst. Psychologically speaking, when you're motivated and confident at the same time, your subconscious quickly picks up the signals, transforming them into mental energy and unlocking limitless wisdom. Think about it in the context of your workplace. If you're always worrying, what if I fail this project, will I get fired? You're bound to be on edge. On the flip side, if you think, I have the skills to nail this project and make a positive impact on the company, you face challenges with much more self-assuredness. This positive outlook instantly eases your nerves, and that's the power of a success mindset in action. So, when you're motivated, make sure it's coupled with confidence. Otherwise, your initial enthusiasm won't last, and you won't have the willpower to see things through. How do you cultivate this confidence and build a success mindset? The only way is through continuous affirmation or command to your subconscious. A famous criminologist once said that most criminals feel repulsed when they commit their first crime. But as they keep doing it, they get used to it and eventually accept it as normal. Similarly, any thought impulse, when repeatedly sent to the subconscious, will be accepted eventually. So, if you keep emphasizing positivity to your subconscious, you're bound to achieve positive outcomes. Take a look at the people around you. Ever notice those who constantly complain about their bad luck or blame others for their problems? What are the chances they'll achieve success or wealth in their lifetime? Pretty slim. Why? Because they lack self-belief. Their subconscious mind is filled with negativity, convincing them that it's not worth the effort to strive for better. So avoid hanging out with pessimistic individuals. Their negativity can be contagious. Always feed your mind with positive affirmations. Write them down, keep them close to your heart, and repeat them until they become a part of your subconscious. No matter who you are, how old you are, or your level of education, if you're willing to think, you can attract prosperity. It sounds simple, but in reality, it's not. Thinking is hard, which is why only a few people truly excel at it. Let's consider Napoleon Hill's approach through a real-life example, George Hamlet's innovative ad campaign. George Hamlet, a US military veteran, was recovering in a hospital after his service. Those were the days before smartphones and the internet, so he spent his time reading and thinking. Once a nurse brought back his laundered shirt, which had a cardboard insert to keep it from wrinkling, just like the new shirts you buy at the store. Curious, he found out that these cardboards cost $4 for 1,000. An idea sparked. Why not place ads on them and sell them to laundromats at a lower price? This way, laundromats would get cheaper cardboard and he'd earn from the ads. After he was discharged, he put this plan into action. It wasn't smooth sailing. The laundromats bought his cardboard ads, but customers threw them away as soon as they got their shirts back. What to do now? Back to the drawing board. He pondered how to make customers keep these cardboards and see the ads. Soon, he had another brilliant idea. Print the ad on one side and put a coloring game for kids and a delicious recipe for homemakers on the other. This was a time when people didn't have easy internet access or smartphones, so a homemaker would definitely keep a useful recipe. It's a perfect example of how a shift in thinking can open doors to wealth. So how do you cultivate a clear and independent thought process? First, let's debunk a common misconception that knowledge is power. In reality, it's the application of knowledge that holds value. This is why professors, despite their wealth of knowledge, aren't necessarily wealthy. Their knowledge primarily serves the purpose of educating others, and the market rates that service at a specific value. So it's not about having more knowledge, but about how you use what you know. Broadly, there are two types of knowledge: general and specialized. General knowledge, like knowing that a red light means stop, is common knowledge that makes you a functional human, but won't make you wealthy. Specialized knowledge is the type of knowledge that's often said to be the primary source of productivity. Successful people in every industry never stop learning. They're always updating their professional knowledge. So, does specialized knowledge alone guarantee wealth? No, it's the foundation, but you also need unique insights to get closer to success. Take the case of an American secretary who was helping her son job hunt. She spent weeks crafting an elaborate resume for him that included not just his skills and qualifications, but also a specific job role she envisioned for him, complete with an action plan. She had her son gather data and research prospective employers' competitors to offer valuable business strategies. This resume also included 6 suggestions to benefit the future employer. Guess what? Her son landed his dream job in the first interview, with a salary matching his expectations. The mother's unique insight into the job hunting process made all the difference. If it weren't for her, her son might have taken years to reach that position. You see, unique insights can bring you wealth, but they are supported by specialist knowledge. You have to understand the situation thoroughly and then overlay it with unique ideas to pave your road to wealth. So why do many people with specialized knowledge lack unique ideas? They lack imagination. How can you build imagination to accumulate wealth? There are 2 types of imagination: synthetic and creative. Synthetic imagination involves reassembling existing concepts. For instance, someone likes milk, another likes tea, so someone creates milk tea. That's synthetic imagination. The more you exercise your creative imagination, the sharper your intuition becomes. When Steve Jobs unveiled the iPhone, was it a product of creative imagination or synthetic imagination? I'd argue it was synthetic. Remember what Jobs said during the iPhone's launch? It was an iPad, a phone, and an iPod combined into one device. That's the power of synthetic imagination, and it's pretty impressive on its own. Of course, if you have creative imagination, you could practically change the world. Think and Grow Rich suggests that all wealth originates from ideas, which in turn come from imagination. One crucial insight I've gained while using imagination is the ability to apply a concept to a different context. This skill is incredibly nuanced. For example, in the e-commerce space, a young entrepreneur noticed how people often recommend physical stores to friends for coupons or points. He wondered, why not apply this to an online setting? While existing platforms had referral systems, they were mostly via email or simple social media links. He went a step further, allowing users to share personalized links of their recent purchases or favorite items directly on social media. Moreover, every purchase made through these links would not only reward the original user with points, but also display an influence score based on the number of purchases made through their link. This ignited a referral frenzy, boosting website traffic, user engagement, and brand loyalty. The entrepreneur successfully transposed an offline recommendation model online and made a fortune. This is the power of innovation, achieved by synthesizing different contexts and knowledge. So continually learn and update your specialized knowledge, add your imagination, and you'll generate unique insights that could effortlessly lead you to wealth, negating the need for aimless hard work. Many people tell me they have ideas. They want to file a patent today, develop a new business model tomorrow, but they never know how to take the next step. They claim they lack startup capital or don't know where to get investment, so they can't act or make money. This is a common issue. We've already covered how all valuable creations begin as a form of desire. Planning is what turns this desire into real action that can fulfill your dreams of wealth. So, the first step in action is planning, creating a roadmap to wealth. Most of us set lots of goals each year, but we forget them eventually. We set high bars only to lower them later, telling ourselves it's too hard. Statistics show that about 60% skim through the first few chapters or lessons and then find excuses to procrastinate or ignore these resources. They didn't plan to fail. They initially had positive intentions but ended up quitting due to poor planning. If you want to accumulate wealth, you need a feasible plan. First, solidify your commitment. Remind yourself that this is an essential task for you. Then, list your strengths and assemble your advisory board. Success often involves collaboration, so your plan should clearly outline the benefits of working with you. Meet with your board at least twice a week to refine the plan, ensuring that every step is approved by all. Lastly, maintain good relations within the board. A good plan is useless without a united team. So what if your plan fails? Make a new one again and again until you find the perfect effective plan. Most people fail because they lose the ability and determination to keep creating new plans. The book cites the example of Ford. Henry Ford didn't accumulate massive wealth because he was exceptionally smart, but because he had a feasible, effective plan. And how did that come about? When faced with obstacles in his car business, he consistently formulated new plans, enabling him to maintain his wealth over time. Struggles and setbacks are inevitable on the path to wealth, but they're also an essential part of the journey. Staying on course until you find a legitimate path to wealth is essential. But aimless wandering won't get you there. Where can you find such a path? That brings us to our second point: identifying a legitimate avenue for wealth creation. In the finance industry, for instance, there are those who engage in high-risk investments and unethical financial practices. One young man, notorious for this, claimed that honest work is too slow for making money, and that he could only make fast cash through risky investments. Such an approach could lead to more trouble. This example illustrates that individuals can persistently tread down the wrong path when they're not willing to adhere to social norms and laws. Everyone aiming for wealth should understand that there are no shortcuts or free lunches. The only way to accumulate wealth legitimately is by providing useful services. While this may sound like a cliché, the key is figuring out what services to offer and to whom. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill points out that the various amenities enjoyed by family members, food, clothing, shelter, are all potential avenues for your wealth accumulation. Think about your daily life. Whether you cook or order food delivery, use an electric or solar water heater for your bath, or choose among various soaps and detergents for laundry, opportunities for wealth are everywhere. You could start a small eatery, offer a delivery service, open a fridge repair shop, or distribute a particular brand of laundry detergent. Any of these services could offer you a livelihood and generate income for you. So opportunities are right in front of you. What you need to do is take that step forward, choose your target, draft your plan, and put it into action. Many people fail to achieve their goals simply because they never take action. Remember, actions speak louder than words. Don't just be a talk giant and an action dwarf. Every desire or plan must culminate in action. Procrastination is a common ailment. As the days go by, the inertia seems to grow stronger, preventing us from taking action. Why do we procrastinate? It's often because we genuinely don't enjoy what we're supposed to be doing. For example, if you dread going to work, you'll likely leave home at the last possible moment, rushing through your morning routine and skipping breakfast. If, on the other hand, there's someone at work you're eager to see, you're less likely to drag your feet. Interest is the antidote to procrastination. To spur yourself into action, try to identify what interests you about the task at hand. Tell yourself, "I'm doing this to make money," and then visualize that money in your hands. You'll find that your interest and motivation levels rise substantially. Once you've conquered procrastination, you need to be quick to make decisions. Napoleon Hill's research on millionaires found that they typically make decisions quickly and then adjust as necessary based on the circumstances. In contrast, those who struggle to accumulate wealth are indecisive, inconsistent, and easily swayed by the opinions of others. Consider this. Are you easily influenced by media reports or office gossip? Do these external opinions replace your own thought process? In today's world, opinions are cheap. There's no shortage of people or platforms telling you what to do, what to eat, or what to wear. For example, let's say you're considering opening a children's clothing store in a neighborhood with many families. A neighbor advises against it, suggesting that you won't make much money and should instead sell women's clothing, which is more profitable. Days later, you see a friend striking it rich by selling sportswear, and you start contemplating that route. Your decision-making keeps getting influenced by others, and you find yourself stuck, unable to take the first step towards realizing your dreams and converting your desires into wealth. Napoleon Hill advises, don't tell the world what you intend to do. Do it. Once you start acting on your plans, you'll find it much easier to turn your desires into tangible results. Don't fear failure. If you fail, revise your plan and try again until you succeed. Remember, only those with a clear desire and plan backed by relentless effort will eventually attract wealth. The key takeaway here is the importance of action. Whether it's a fleeting idea or a well-thought-out plan, you need to act on it. Otherwise, it will gradually fade away. Acting is difficult. It requires self-control not to procrastinate and even more courage and willpower to persist. With the rise of video content online, many aspire to become YouTube creators, lured by the promise of ad revenue and sponsorships. However, newcomers quickly realize that maintaining a channel requires consistent effort. Weekly high-quality videos, editing, social media management, and fan engagement, all of which can consume all your personal time. Many give up due to the high demands, yet creators like PewDiePie or Mr. Beast have thrived because they not only consistently produce high-quality content, but started their journey when YouTube was less saturated. Their example illustrates the importance of sustained, quality output in any field. According to Napoleon Hill, developing willpower involves 4 steps. 1. Clearly defined goal. Have a goal driven by intense desire. 2. Detailed plan of action. List out a step-by-step plan for achieving that goal. 3. Positive mental attitude. Shield your mind from negative influences. including discouraging advice from friends and family. 4. Supportive friends. Surround yourself with people who encourage you to stick to your plan and goals. Following these steps will grant you mental freedom and independence, opening doors to opportunities and turning your dreams into reality. Once you have willpower, the next step is to bolster your strength. This often involves forming an advisory board or a mastermind group, which we will discuss next. Being part of a group of like-minded individuals can serve as a strong motivator to stay committed to your goals, whether it's getting fit, eating healthier, or achieving financial success. Napoleon Hill refers to this as the Mastermind group in his book, Think and Grow Rich. According to him, the collective intelligence of a carefully selected group can create a third mind, a force more potent than the sum of its individual parts. It's like how a series of batteries produce more power together than a single battery can. This principle is fundamental in harnessing the power of collaboration and collective intelligence. The strength of a mastermind group is well demonstrated in historical figures like Mahatma Gandhi. Despite his unassuming appearance, he was a powerhouse because he managed to unify millions towards a single goal. So, having a supportive social circle, your personal mastermind group, can indeed smooth your path to success. Now, about the role of a loving partner. According to Hill, intimacy can be a powerful driver because sexual energy can be transmuted into other forms of energy like creativity and ambition. This might sound controversial, but the idea is grounded in psychology. Sexual desire is one of the most potent human drives. Many who can control their urges in other aspects of life find it difficult to do so when it comes to sexual desire. This energy, when channeled correctly, can stimulate unprecedented levels of creativity and determination. Some historical figures, like Napoleon Bonaparte, were at their most potent when motivated by love or sexual desire. For example, Bonaparte was virtually unstoppable on the battlefield when he was emotionally connected with his first wife, Josephine. But when he cast her aside, his life took a turn for the worse, eventually leading to his downfall. In summary, being part of a community or mastermind group can significantly enhance your willpower. Additionally, a supportive and intimate partner can act as a powerful catalyst for your creative and financial aspirations. The book outlines 4 steps to cultivate this perseverance. 1. Setting a clear goal driven by intense desire. 2. Developing a well-defined action plan. 3. Protecting your mindset from negative influences. 4. Surrounding yourself with encouraging friends. The 4th step, creating a mastermind group, is particularly effective in nurturing the resolve to persevere. Lastly, it's important to recognize that the primal impulse of sexual desire, when correctly channeled, can provide the determination to see your actions through to a successful conclusion. In the realm of generating wealth, creativity stands as an often overlooked pillar. It's not enough to just work hard. One needs to work smart, and that often involves looking at problems and opportunities from a new angle. But how does one keep the creative juices flowing? In his book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill outlines several techniques to ensure your creativity never runs dry. One of the most intriguing is the activation of the subconscious mind. While we might not be able to control our subconscious entirely, Hill argues that we can influence it through our emotional impulses. Your subconscious mind is more influential than you might think. It governs many of the automatic responses and reactions you don't consciously control. However, its power can be harnessed for creativity and problem-solving if you manage to influence it with positive emotions. Negative emotions or fears have a way of seeping into the subconscious and can thwart your ability to think creatively or take calculated risks. People often turn to prayer or spiritual rituals during moments of desperation or fear. However, these acts often prove ineffective because they're carried out in a state of emotional turmoil. Your subconscious picks up on this emotional state and responds accordingly, often negatively. In contrast, approaching challenges with a positive emotional state can influence your subconscious positively, making you more open to creative solutions or infinite intelligence, as Hill calls it. So, one of the secrets to endless creativity and, by extension, wealth generation is to cultivate a positive emotional state that influences your subconscious mind. This, in turn, opens up a wellspring of ideas and solutions that can help you navigate the challenges of entrepreneurship, career growth, or any other avenue you pursue for financial gain. That's a fascinating take on the concept of the sixth sense, a mysterious faculty that goes beyond our 5 physical senses. In the context of creating wealth and sustaining inspiration, this sixth sense often manifests as intuition or a heightened sense of awareness that guides us in decision-making. The story of Andrew Yang's withdrawal from the 2020 US presidential race illustrates the role of intuition in decision-making. His reliance on data and a gut feeling that told him he couldn't win is a prime example of the sixth sense in action. So, how does one stimulate this elusive sixth sense? Napoleon Hill suggests several stimulants: the desire for sexual expression, love, a burning desire for fame, power, or financial gain, music, friendship, and the influence of a mastermind group. Engaging with any of these stimulants can awaken your sixth sense, allowing you to visualize the path to wealth creation in your mind's eye. This mental imagery, incomplete as it may be, is absorbed by your subconscious and can inform your conscious actions moving forward. Dr. Elmer Gates, a prolific American inventor, provides a practical way to tap into this sixth sense. He had a personal communication room, a soundproof, light-controlled space where he would sit in dim lighting, focusing solely on his inventive ideas until they flooded his mind. This technique can be useful for anyone looking to harness their intuition or sixth sense for inspiration. Lastly, the role of a mastermind group or mentorship from exceptional talents cannot be overstated. If the sixth sense serves as an internal compass, then a well-chosen mastermind group acts as a lighthouse, illuminating the path ahead and providing invaluable insights that you might not have arrived at on your own. The idea is not just to surround yourself with smart people, but to engage in a mutual exchange of ideas and inspirations. Hence, the sixth sense, when properly stimulated and harnessed, becomes another tool in your arsenal for wealth creation and sustained inspiration. It can act as a warning system, guiding you away from potential pitfalls and towards lucrative opportunities. And when combined with mentorship and a well-curated mastermind group, you're not just playing the game, you're playing it with a stacked deck. Absolutely, the idea of having an invisible council, as Napoleon Hill did, is a powerful mental exercise. By imagining conversations with people who have achieved great things, you're essentially role-playing success. You're tapping into their wisdom, their methods, their approaches to problem-solving, and applying them to your own life. Even if these conversations are entirely imagined, they serve as a sort of mentorship by proxy that can offer incredible insights into your own potential paths forward. It's a psychological tool that's akin to the "what would Jesus do?" or "what would insert role model's name do?" questions that many people ask themselves in difficult situations. By asking these questions, people are essentially trying to channel the wisdom, courage, and clarity of someone they respect, hoping that this mental exercise will help them rise to the occasion. So, in summary, if you're looking to maintain a constant stream of inspiration and pave your way to wealth, remember the following key points. 1. Stimulate your subconscious to gain wisdom. 2. Trigger your sixth sense to unleash creativity. 3. Imagine consultations with successful figures to gain insights and resolve dilemmas. By doing these, your ideas and initiatives will flow one after another. With this toolkit, achieving success and wealth becomes a much more attainable goal. The primary aim of Think and Grow Rich is to offer a blueprint, a set of guidelines that can help you acquire wealth or anything else you desire in life. And remember, wealth isn't just measured in monetary terms. Lasting friendships, mutual understanding and support in business partnerships, as well as a sense of inner peace and harmony, are also invaluable forms of wealth. Beyond the financial benefits, these may very well be the greatest gifts that Think and Grow Rich can offer you. That wraps up our discussion on this transformative book. I hope you found this overview helpful and inspiring.